So, good evening, Cheyenne. Good timing. And let's see, good evening, Roland. Good evening, Iwana. Good evening, Manu in Italy. And I wonder who else we've got here as well. Okay, it's great to have you all here. We're going to have another live stream with the same format as always. I'm going to start with a few sentence transformations, and then we're going to do I think I've got phrasal verbs with Paul. Good evening, Reza. Good evening, left or right, and Pepax. Okay, that would be very cool, Pepax. You'll also find making videos in English is a really good way to improve your English, especially if you're going to publish them on YouTube. Yeah, okay, it's great to have you, Reza. Good evening, Count. Nice to see you. And hi, let's see, Abhishek. That's a good name. So, yeah, good evening to you too, Roland. So I hope you've all had a lovely day. It's starting to draw to a close. Butterfly Butcher, good evening. Okay, so maybe you collect butterflies. Good evening, Hadi. Yeah, great to see you here as well. Okay, so in a minute we're going to start. Yeah, that says 8 o'clock on my thing. So, hi Jack and Victor Gabriel. Brilliant to see you, my friend. It's wonderful to have you here. Okay, so we're going to start with a sentence transformation. This first one, it's not easy. We'll see. It needs to come through. Yeah, I've had a great day too. I've been very relaxed. I'm not doing very much, at least until now. Okay, so this first sentence transformation, Sue was very happy to be chosen for the job. And it begins with much. And you need to include the word delight. Good evening, Kalefisas. I have difficulty pronouncing your neck. It's good to see you. So much. So much delighted to be. No, that's not quite the construction. She was very delighted to be chosen for the job. That would work. We could say that, but it doesn't fit the structure. Sue was... I need capital letters. Sue was delighted to be chosen for the job, but we need to keep the structure. Okay, so left or right, that's better. Okay, what much delight. So what we need is the construction much to somebody's delight. That's the phrase we need. Yeah. So for example, much to my delight, loads of people have turned up for the live stream. Good evening, Rump Malone. It's great to see you. Yeah. So much to my delight, Rajendra is here. This one isn't an inversion, and yes, they're very common. They're very common in informal conversation. So there we go. Good evening, Vitaly. Delighted to have been chosen. So yes, you've got this. Yes, so Vitaly and Leferite. Good evening, Adam. So what we need to put here is much to Sue's delight, she was chosen for the job. Yeah? Okay, hi Hussein, it's wonderful to see you. So much to my delight, Hussein has just joined us as well. So much to somebody's delight, yeah, much to Sue's delight, she was chosen for the job. Much to my delight, I received a beautiful bunch of flowers from a friend. Okay, so much to my delight, I received a beautiful bunch of flowers. Okay, this next one, yes, is definitely an inversion. Good evening, Amimul. Great to see you, my friend. Yeah, so much to my delight, much to the teacher's delight, Amimul has joined us. Much to Sue's delight, she was chosen for the job. That's the idea, Roland. Very good. Well done. Yeah, much to my delight, Roland got the right answer. Okay, so let's look at the next one when we have a second or two. I hope the connection is going to... Okay, this next one's a third conditional. Without the umbrella, we would have been soaked. It, that's the word. Okay, Shalom Renyard, great to see you. And Vitalia, this is very good. This is very good indeed. Yeah, your English is great. And Ritka, good evening to see you. Joy, cheerfulness, happiness and delight. I think cheerfulness is a positive attitude, whereas joy, happiness and delight are a feeling. And I think maybe joy, happiness and delight are the same. Cheerfulness is a positive attitude. So, Tom K, you've started really well, but you need a verb. Yeah? Okay, good evening, Mikodiev. Good to see you. And Leferite, yes. Yes, that's good. And Reza, good. So, Hadi, much to Sue's delight, she was chosen from the job. Good evening, Manji, great to see you as well. And Renita, great to have you here. So, hello, much to my delight, good evening, all of you. There, so this is getting, so, had there not been. So what we need to say is something like, if we had not had the umbrella, we would have been soaked. Okay, so had it not been for the umbrella. So this is saying if it had not been for the umbrella. So notice this is a third conditional with an inversion. Wow. With an inversion at the beginning. This had it says if. Yeah, this had it as an inversion gives and this needs to be had it if it had not been for the umbrella. Had it not been for the umbrella. Yes, if it had not been for the umbrella, we would have been soaked. Good evening, business. Had it not been for the umbrella. Had it not been for your advice, I would have had problems. Okay, so had it not been for, that's it, Roland, good. Had it not been for the umbrella, we would have been soaked. So this is saying if something hadn't been there, if we hadn't had it not been for COVID, last year and this year would have been very different. Had it not been for the decision I made, also, but for the umbrella by Vitalia. Yeah, but for the umbrella. Had it not been for the umbrella. Good evening, Rafal in Poland. Great to see you. So, yeah, thank you for pointing that one out as well. But for the umbrella, we would have been soaked. Yeah. if it hadn't been for the umbrella. Had it not been for the umbrella. Had it not been for you meddling kids. That sounds very much like Scooby-Doo. This is an inversion. This had it. Yeah, had we. This is an inversion for a third conditional. Yeah, this is inversion. Very definitely business and success. Okay, so let's look at another one here. Very good indeed, Vitaly. Okay, so to make an exception is a different phrase. I will make an exception and allow you to go in without a ticket. Okay, but this is different. Would that it were not for the umbrella. I think that just about works. Okay, take exception to, exactly. This is the phrase we're looking for. Yeah, had it not been for my medicine, I would have been in trouble. So, to take exception to something. This means to be very angry about it. Yeah, good evening, Funda. Great to see you as well. Okay, so if you take exception to something, you get angry about it. Yeah. So as Vitaly said right at the beginning. Yeah. So this is very easy. Yeah, I was very offended by what he said. So we need the phrase to take exception, and it needs to be a past tense as well. Yeah, so I'm sure this is easy for you. So I don't know. He took exception to the way he was treated. To take issue with something, that's very good as well. Vitaly, I took issue with his remarks. I also think, though, that to take issue is probably more formal than to take exception to. Yeah? Okay, so, Adam, you need a past tense, but you got the right answer. Vitaly has got the right answer. It's normally to take exception to, Cheyenne. Okay? Okay, so, yeah, let me put the right answer in here, because it's going to take a while to come up. So I took exception to his remarks. So notice, to take exception to. I took umbrage at his remarks. To take umbrage, very definitely. He stomped off in umbrage. Yeah, I think take umbrage is probably like to take exception to, slightly less formal. I demur to his remarks. That would work as well, Animal. So, Manji, exactly. I took exception to his remarks. Everything is changing. Our eating habit does not make an exception. Yeah, but some people take exception. Could it be took exception from? No. Tom K, it's got to be to take exception to. Yeah? So, to take exception to something, to take exception to something, to be angry about it. That's it, Roland. I took exception to his remarks. Okay, we're going to do one more, and yes, this is one we had a different one last week. So do not confuse this one. Umbrage. I think to take umbrage, I'd probably give it a 5 in formality, but it sounds a bit posh. Yeah? Okay, so left, right. You can use to take umbrage just about anywhere. He took umbrage. However, it sounds quite posh. Yeah? So maybe almost a little bit literary. Yeah? He took umbrage and walked off. Umbrage sounds rather formal, though. He took umbrage. You see, I think it's an idiom. The president takes exception to the journalist's remark. So, That's it, Pepax. So you're getting much closer, Pepax. So look at what Adam's written directly below you, and Animal, and Vitalia as well, and Cheyenne. Very definitely, Roland. Yeah? Okay, so we've had lots of great answers here. Okay, so Jerry, great to hear you here. Yeah, it's a network issue at my end. Good evening to Netra. Okay, to take exception to something basically means to be offended by someone. Good, Joshua. I take exception to the bad internet connection. Me too, Count Beauty. Animal, how do you take exception to the bad internet? You get upset about it. Joe found it hard to come to terms with the fact that he'd been fired from his job. To come to terms with. Okay, to come to terms with, it doesn't mean the same as to take exception. So, should we use the simple past only I took? No, you can use the present simple as well, Renyard. I take exception to people that are rude. I have taken exception to many things he has said. Yes, Vitalia, I think I'm back. Okay, so technical issues jammed you. Okay, yes. It's back for sure. That's brilliant. So, I think this is a good moment to go to the phrasal verbs, very definitely. So the first one is to pull ahead. Yeah, to come to terms with, to accept. That's it. Exactly, Karambit. Okay, I hope I stay here for a bit longer. Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking exception to his remarks. Yeah, that works. I think it's probably more common as a simple tense rather than a continuous, but it works fine. Okay, so to pull ahead, to move into a winning position in a race or a competition. She managed to pull ahead in the final lap. Okay, so if you're pulling ahead, you're moving into the leading position. Yeah. Okay. So he pulled ahead. He pulled ahead of the competition. Okay. So, and then the next one would be to pull apart. Yeah. To become separated as a result of pulling. He pulled the pieces apart. Okay. So naive. How many words should we learn to reach a C1 level? To be a good C1, you need 8,000 words, maybe 10,000. I think 8,000 as a minimum. Okay, so you have to put a lot of effort to pull ahead in the final. Thank you very much indeed, Count Beauty. Yes, that's my first phrasal verb example. Thank you for that. Okay, so to pull ahead, to go into the Okay, I hope I am back again. Okay, so let's see. Wow, lots of these again. So I hope you can hear me. It's okay. I'm back. Yes. Okay, so let's see. Wow, what a lot. I'm sorry, that's two in a row. Okay, so let's see. Damn connection goes badly here. It goes even worse here. So I hope you can hear me now. Yeah? Yes, Yep, okay, so I think yes. Okay, so to pull apart. Good, Nave, thank you. Okay, so to become separated as a result of pulling, he pulled the pieces apart. To separate two people or animals that are fighting. Yeah, he pulled the dogs apart. To rigorously investigate an idea or a theory. The detective, good, thank you, Pepax. The detective began to pull apart his alibi. So, to pull away, yeah, is going to be the next one. So, keep those examples coming. Let's see, Joshua said the boys were grappling for a toy and the teacher had to pull them apart. It's good to be back, absolutely, Kumar, as well. I would rather it worked well, so would I. I need to pull apart the articles till Monday. Okay, so let's see, to pull away. So firstly he pulled ahead and then he pulled away. So to distance yourself from the others. So first, in the last lap, he pulled ahead of the competition and then he pulled away, so making more distance from the other runners. Doctor keeping one of a few astronomers who's been pulling apart the problems of exomoons. Sounds interesting. I pulled away as she was about to kiss me. Okay, yeah, that works as well. I moved away, I pulled away. This is definitely good for a movement. Yeah? Okay, so to pull away. And I think I've probably got space here for another one as well. Okay, the next one is to pull back. The boy managed to pull apart the girls who were fighting. That sounds great. To pull ahead and pull away the same. No, they're slightly different. So to pull ahead means to go into first position, and then to pull away means to become more distant. I didn't know how to pull my neighbours apart. Good, Adam. Karambit, I pulled away the dirt from the precious object. Yeah, that works. Maria Lassan. She pulled away from the group as they were walking in the woods. Good. I'm glad to have you back, Victor Gabriel. Okay, so let's look at this next one, which is to pull back. To pull back is to retreat. So the general pulled his troops back. To pull in order to reveal something underneath or behind. She pulled back the curtain. And then to score when the team is losing. They have pulled one goal back and the score is now 2-1. So she forced herself to pull away from him. Good, Naif. And Renyard, he's desperately trying to pull ahead of the rest of the runners. Good, Renyard. Roland, despite the strong temptation, when the princess tried to kiss him, the poor girl pulled away from him. I pulled back as the car was coming. Yeah, I retreated. Why are they pulling those cars apart? Okay, yeah, I guess. So do you still do short stories sometimes? It's ages and ages since I did a short story. Yeah, I'm a real fan of stories. So, Vitaly, having driven all the way to Timbuktu, I pulled over to the side of the road to grab a bite. Good. Well done, Vitaly, to pull over. So, no, let's see, Manjira. Pull the car away to the other lane. No, to pull the car over to the other lane. Look at Vitaly's example directly above you. Yeah? To pull across into another lane. I pulled back my expectation. Yeah, I guess you could pull back your expectation. They immediately pulled back when they noticed the three fierce dogs in the front yard. They swiftly pulled back a score and pulled ahead a minute later. That's very good. Okay, so yeah, the toy car moves if you pull it back. She pulled back and away from his affections. Yeah, that would work as well. To pull the curtain back and let the light in. That's very good. Okay, yeah, he pulled back the curtains. Our goals are to push forward, not to pull back. Absolutely nice. That's quite a nice example. Yeah, we want to push forward, not pull back. And Roland, the strong country pulls back its troops from the disputed border to ease the tension. That sounds pretty good. So, to pull down, to make lower, especially of clothes. Thank you. Yeah, pulled. That's better. Thank you, left or right. She pulled her skirt down. To demolish or destroy a building, they pulled down the old railway station. So to pull down a building, yeah? So, suffer. He pulled away from his friends because of his depression. That's good. Pepax, I'm so decisive. I pull back when it comes to the most important decisions. That works very nicely, Pepax. I think that's a very good example, yeah? Okay, so to pull down, to make lower, he pulled down the blinds, yeah? And to destroy a building, they pulled down the old railway station. They pulled down the building, yeah? And let's see, pull back and pull away in the sense of retreating. I think pull away, you're close and you come back. Yeah, pull back, you don't have to be close. They were at a distance and then they pulled back. But I think, Victor Gabriel, they're the same. Tom K, since she didn't want to pull her back, she pulled back from pulling the back of the wall for the restoration. Okay. She pulled her skirt down in order to tease her boyfriend. Good, Roland. Amimor. At first the runner pulled ahead, but while trying to pull away, he injured his legs. Finally, he had to pull back from the race. Probably pull out, but pull backward. Thus, his scores were pulled down. That's pretty good, Amimor. Maria. They were very sad that the historical building in their town was pulled down yesterday. WTC was pulled down by terrorists. I'm not the World Trade Center. They didn't. They blew it up. It was blown up, and therefore it's not pulled down. They had to pull down anything that was left. I think pull down is talking about the builders demolishing it. Okay, they've pulled the old cinema down to make a new one. That's fine. Pull in, so to pull something in so that it comes inside. Easy. After falling out of the boat, the crew pulled him in. To approach or drive up to a place and come to a stop. A car just pulled in our driveway. Yeah, pull in on the side of the road here. Pull over as well, we're going to see in a second. To approach a station, to arrive at a station. Quick, the train's pulling in. And then the final one, to earn money. He pulls in a lot of money. Okay, so there are lots here. So Count Beauty, the old shad will not withstand the glaze. The old shed, S-H-E-D. So better to pull it down before someone is hurt. Okay, Joshua. His snide remarks on her appearance pull down her self-confidence. That works very nicely, Joshua. He pulls in pots of money. Yes, he pulls in a lot of money. That's great. Sem. An illegal building is being pulled down by the municipality. I managed to pull in $20 yesterday at work. Good, Karambit. Manjira. I pulled the curtains down to guard against the scorching sun. Good, Manji. The old warehouse ought not to be pulled down. This historical architecture withstood the test of time. Good, Roland. Vitalia, they pulled down the old cinema to make way for a new restaurant. Good. I need to learn how to pull in my car properly. That works, Karambit. Yeah? To pull in, to stop, to drive up to a place and come to a stop. No sooner had we reached the station than the train pulled in. I love it, Manji. And Pepax, Paul was pulled in the pool. Yeah, he was pulled in the pool. Woof. They all agreed to pull in for the wager. I think put in for the wager would be better here, Tom K. Maria Lazar, she works hard so that she can pull in enough money to sustain her family. Good, Maria Lazar. Kumar, he pulls in $25 million a month. Wow. He jumped onto the bus just as it was pulling away. Yes, as it was driving away. Okay, so the next one is going to be to pull off. He looks like a suspect. I'd pull him in. So the police pulled him in. The police arrested him. Yeah, that sounds fine. I pulled in €30 for helping the old man open his car. Very good, VG. Adam, the authorities back out of pulling down that old edifice. I like the word edifice, Adam. Joshua, she pulled in on her bicycle rapidly from the lane. Yes, this is good. To pull in. Maybe she pulled off the road. So to pull off, to remove by pulling. He pulled off his shirt. To pull off, to achieve or to succeed at something very difficult. The team pulled off a victory. He managed to pull off his plan. Yeah? To pull off, to turn off a road onto the side of the road or onto another road. After about a mile, we pulled off the main road onto a dirt track of a vehicle to begin moving and then move away, to pull away, to pull off. As the police approached, the car pulled off and sped away into the distance. Okay, so, and Roland, we have to pull in at the petrol station because of the rambunctious child. Great example of pull in, Roland. Did you hear that Kate pulls in a load of money now? There is her Ferrari pulling in over there. Good, Pepax. He pulled off the impossible. Great, I love it, that left or right. To pull off the impossible, to succeed in doing. He managed to pull off his long-term goal. That's a great one, Karambit. It looks like I pulled it off very well. Very good, Adam. The police have pulled him in for questioning. Good, they've arrested him. It's good. And Dragon Slayer, can you pull off a skateboard trick? That's a good example, Karambit. People pull off their clothes at the beach. Most true. She didn't think the baggy sweater would flatter her, but she pulled it off. Oh, the baggy clothes. But I think she pulled it off. I think, because if you say she pulled them off, I get the idea that she pulled off the clothes. But if she pulled it off, she was successful in looking good in them, Joshua. Okay, Roland, the team tried to conquer the Blue Summit, but they failed to pull it off. The Indian Army pulled off a victory against the terrorists. Good, Kumar. Don't go yet. Okay. Can we use pull in for ideas? Yeah, I guess I'd like to pull in a few ideas to collect. Knife. She pulled off the road at a small village. Yeah, that sounds very good. Okay, so she pulled off the road And let's see what else we've got. Maria Lazard. They pulled off onto the boulevard in order to get home as early as possible. That's a good one, Maria Lazard. Adam, don't get so stressed out. I'm sure you'll pull it off. Good, that's good, Adam. I'm sure you'll be successful. I'm sure you'll pull it off. The trick looked impossible, but he pulled it off. Yeah, that sounds very good, Vitaly. Okay, yeah. So, to pull it off, to manage to be successful. Yeah? So I never thought I was going to be successful in YouTube when I first started, but it seems like I managed to pull it off. I managed to be successful. Okay, so the next pair, to pull on. To put on clothes. I pulled on my winter coat before stepping out into the snow. I pulled on my shoes. Okay, that's to pull on. And then to pull oneself together. To become mentally focused after a period of being unfocused. I pulled myself together. The team were 1-0 down and they didn't know what they were doing, but finally they pulled themselves together and pulled back a couple of goals. Against all odds, plural, Renyard, they pulled it off. What time does the train get in? That's good. Okay, Vitaly. He was able to pull off his mission. I don't want to put on that cloth. Okay, I don't want to pull on that cloth. So here we're using pull on, meaning to put on. Can you pull the recipe you need off the internet? That works very nicely as well, Roland. It's so hot. I'm not going to pull on anything. Yeah, I'm going to pull off what I've got. He's pulled on a sweater and left. Okay, Kumar, I understand. There's no problem. See you next week, and I'm sorry about the delays and problems at the beginning. So, Pepax, do all pull blank work with put as well? Put oneself together. I would pull myself together, not put myself together. I think to pull and to push, to put. They're slightly different, but they are close. Pull off your grimace and pull a smile on. Pull off your grimace and pull on a smile. I like that. So I don't think that works, Fairfax. Joshua, that does work. Pull off your grimace. Pull off your grimace and pull a smile on. She pulled on a nice dress for her first date. That's good, Maria. The homeless dog pulled on his heartstrings. That's very good. Very often we say tug as well. Karambit. People pull themselves together at college. Maria, it was impossible for me to quickly pull myself together after having a mental breakdown. Good. She pulled off the quaint tea set with flying colours at the party. Okay, that works. That works, yeah. So it was suitable for the party. Count, come on, stop being a scatterbrain and pull yourself together. Good. Hussein, I pull on my shirt. Sorry, 1 second, Hussein. So, Hussein, I pull off my shirt, pull in the closet drawer and pull on a clean one. That works very well. And VG, everyone pulled together to hold the concert. Okay, Vitalia, he saw that the firm was going to be ruined, so he pulled out. Yeah, he withdrew, very definitely, Vitalia. Tom K, pull on a happy face and pull yourself together. That works very nice, Tom K. Pepax, pulling is concentrated on the process more than the putting sort. With phrasal verbs, this is very difficult to use this generalization. To me, Pepax, the thing that's more important with the phrasal verbs is the particle, the out, the off, the on, the in, because each of the particles normally has a set of nuances. What I would suggest you do, Pepax, is go looking up the meanings of the prepositions in a dictionary. Go look up the word of. Go look up the word at. Go look up the word in, and that will help you a lot with phrasal verbs. Renyard, after a few moments after the concussion, he pulled himself together and continued driving. I'm boiling here while you're pulling on all your clothes on. Yes, he pulled out of the contract. Good, to withdraw, especially military forces. The troops pulled out of the conflict. The racehorse pulled out of the race. So, Gamer Come Coder, just want to thank you for making all these videos. For 10 years plus. Yes, I have. So, it's a pleasure, Gamer. Vitalia, he got ill with long COVID, but he pulled through. Good. To pull through to get better. Adam, it's time I pulled myself together and got down to work. Good, Adam. Left or right, he pulled out because he didn't want another child. Yes, to withdraw during sex. It works, left or right. But the withdrawal method is very unreliable, mate. Roland, despite her poor sartorial taste, she put on some nice dress for the evening. I love it, and I love the use of sartorial, Roland. Joshua, had he not, so, not hadn't he, but had he not pulled himself together, he would have appeared rude. Okay, had he not pulled himself together, Joshua. VG, she broke down when she heard the news, and she broke down into tears when she heard the news. I think broke down, lose emotional control. Lose emotional control and go into tears. They're effectively the same thing. It's okay, Pepax, but try what I said. Look up the prepositions in a big dictionary and look at all the meanings. It will really help you with phrasal verbs. Okay, pull out all the stops. Absolutely. Pulling out isn't a very safe method. Absolutely. Vitalia, he had difficulty with his work for the exams, but his teacher pulled him through. That's very good. Yeah, I agree with you, Joshua. I think the only difference is the latter is more specific, breakdown into tears, but the feeling is the same. He pulled out a lighter when asked if he could help to make the fire. There is a pull-out sign. Yeah, they pulled out of the deal. Good, Adam. Manjira. It's judicious to pull out of a turbulent relationship, lest it should exacerbate. I love that sentence, Manji. It's a really good one. And no chewing... No... Tom K. No chewing gum during class. Come on, pull it out. So, to pull out, to withdraw, especially military forces. The troops pulled out of the conflict. The racehorse pulled out of the race. To remove something from a container. He pulled his gun out. To move a vehicle from the side of the road onto the road. When joining a road, you should check for traffic before pulling out. Okay, and the next one is to pull over. He pulled out all his money from his bank account before fleeing the country. Okay, it's a pleasure, Manji. To pull out of a compromise, that's really good. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so the next one's going to be to pull over, which we're going to see any second now. Okay, here we come, pull over. So to come to a stop and turn off the road onto the roadside. Can you pull over just after the post office? My house is next door. To pull off the road, to pull over, to pull to the side of the road. Or to force someone to drive their vehicle to the side of the road and come to a stop. The cops pulled me over for speaking. What's the probability of the event of pulling a red marble from a bag with 10 yellow marbles, 6 red marbles and 1 green marble? Okay, yeah, pulling, I would say pulling out from a bag. I got pulled over last night. I hope you didn't have any problems when they pulled you over, Adam. Yeah? Okay, so to pull over. Yeah, to pull someone over. The cops pulled me over. Yeah, you see that flashing light behind you. Yeah, he was speeding, so the buzzers pulled him over. The buzzers, I would say the rozzers, yeah, or the cops, or the... When he saw the police alarm, the police, it's not an alarm, it's a siren. Yeah, it's a siren. The sirens on the rooftops wailing, but there's no ship sailing. They were pulled over by the police for not respecting the law. That sounds absolutely fine. Okay, so what's the next one? Next one's going to be to pull through. After that we've got pull up, and I think that's the last one. So the teacher pulled him over to talk about his behaviour. That actually works quite nicely, Victor Gabriel. Very good indeed. Yeah. Okay, he pulled over to the side of the road. So the next one, to pull through, to come through pain and trouble. He was seriously ill, but he pulled, and there's a mistake here, H-R-O-U-G-H, to pull through, to get better, to survive. That's alright, no problems. Pulling over people with no reason is criticised. I hate being pulled over. The officers are trying to pull him over, but they fail to overtake his car. So to take over is to take control of, but to overtake means to go in front of. Yeah, to take over, to take control. Yeah, but to overtake when you're driving. They're pulling the wool over your eyes, yes. Mike is in hospital. He might not, no too, Adam, he might not pull through. Yeah, so okay, he might not pull through, he might have a problem. Yeah. And it's Maria, it's incredible that they pulled through after living on potato peels for a month to overtake his car. That's it, Roland, yeah? To overtake. Don't worry, we can pull through it together. That's very good, Pepax. And Joshua, how were you able to pull through the upheavals of being penniless? That's not easy, yeah? Okay, so the next one is to pull up. So to lift upwards vertically. I pulled up the lever. Yeah? Or to pull forward. Pull up a bench and have a seat. Pull the car up a little so you don't block his driveway. Or to raise the nose of an aircraft. Terrain ahead, pull up, pull up. And then to fetch for display on a screen, pull up that website, it sounds interesting. And then of a person or a vehicle to arrive at a halt, to stop. A car pull up to the curb slowly. Okay, so to pull up is to stop. The train pulled into the station and then pulled up. Victor Gabriel, when I did something wrong, my mother pulled me up. That works. He pulled me up on my mess. Yeah, that works fine, Crambit. He's pulling through. He's coming out of the woods. Coming would be better, Adam. So I Swear English had connection issues, but he pulled through. It looks like I've pulled through, doesn't it? Pull-ups are good for your arm muscles, pulling yourself up with a bar. He pulled forward and overshot the parking lot. Pepax, pulling the star up the Christmas tree is my favourite part of the decoration. Good, Pepax. The experienced pilot pulled the plane up to avoid the huge mountain. Very good indeed. Okay, so to pull up. Okay, so to move forward, to pull up, to raise the nose of the aircraft, to pull up, to get something on a screen. Let's pull up that information. Or as a vehicle to stop. The car pulled up by the pub. They pulled the deer out of the mud, I would say. Yeah, okay. Don't go yet. Unfortunately, it's time. So to pull up, to lift vertically, I pulled up the lever. I pulled up my shirt. To pull forward, pull up a bench. Pull the car a little up a little so you don't block his driveway. Pull up the nose of the aircraft. Pull up information on the screen. And pull the car up over there. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Manji, on being chased by the police, the bandit's car started pulling up. Yeah. Pull it up and wrap it up. Yeah, it would work. I pulled up my car in the middle of nowhere in order to sleep for a short period. Okay. There, pull himself up. Okay, guys and girls, it's time to stop. We've been going for nearly an hour now, and I think that's probably enough. I'm sorry about the problems we had to start with. Thanks for a great session. Could you pull up to the hospital? I'm feeling unwell. Phrasal verbs with pull are problematic. So, thank you very much. I'll see you all next week. You've been a great group. Thank you. And stay safe, look after yourselves,